All right. Well, hello again to all the boys and girls out there in YouTube land watching. John and Nelly of Georgia Beer Reviews back at you this evening with a live examination, just kind of spur of the moment thing. Michael and I decided we wanted to drink some lagers, so that's what we're doing. We're doing lagers in examination. So any type of lager, any ABV range, no restrictions with this one. So if anybody's in the chat and has a lager and wants to join, just let me know and I'll drop the link. But we didn't want to exclude anybody. We just kind of decided to do this about an hour ago. All right, so I'm going to start with you, Michael, and why don't you tell everybody what beer you're drinking?
Okay, this is from Threes Brewing, which is in Brooklyn, New York, about a mile and a half from where I live, and it's called Vliet, Vliet. It's a Pilsner, 5.1% ABV, and it's brewed in Framingham, Massachusetts by Jack's Abbey. So this is contract brewed in Massachusetts by a Brooklyn, New York company. And it's a session. So you can drink this with warm weather and have several. You know, what do they call it? Lawnmower beer. Is that another way you describe session beers? But
absolutely.
This was brewed on the 30th of June. So that means it is like 6 weeks old.
Yeah, pretty fresh for that style. Yeah,
fairly for a Pilsner, I think we're pretty safe that it's going to be
absolutely
very good. But I'll wait till you describe yours before I open mine.
All right. So every year, every couple years, I pick up this beer, but I believe this is a different version. This is like a limited version of a beer that I've had many times in the past, and it's the Sierra Nevada Oktoberfest. But I didn't realize at the time when I picked up the 12-pack, but I'm noticing it now. It says Oktoberfest Limited Fest Beer. When I think of Oktoberfest, usually I'm thinking, a lot of those are Martins, but this is a fest beer. Clocks in at 6% alcohol, and it's in collaboration with, you can see it there on the screen, Stortebeker, which is, I'm going to guess it's a Bavarian brewery, just based off of the spelling. And it says underneath Bros Specialization. I think it's saying a special collaboration in German, I think is what it's saying there. In Sierra Nevada, Chico, California, Mills River, North Carolina. Doesn't say anything else on the label about the other brewery that they're collaborating with, the Stortebeker. But anyway, I don't think I've ever had this Oktoberfest from Sierra Nevada. It's a limited 2025 release. So, and I don't remember the Oktoberfest being 6% in the past. I think it was like 5.6. So this is a higher ABV version, and we're looking at a fest beer versus a Marzen. So go ahead and pour these things up. And,
okay, I'll pour mine too. I was going to ask you, John, do you remember Sierra Nevada years ago having something called Beer Camp, where they collaborated with other beers, other country breweries, and had quite a few in the 12-pack. They had a 12-pack with different collaborations, and some of those were very good. Some were not as good. I remember there was mixed feelings in it.
Yeah, I had a couple of the Beer Camp beers. A few years ago, whenever they put out those, that series. It's been a while, but yeah, I thought they were pretty good.
For the most part, they were very good.
Oh yeah, that's a good looking beer, right? Good looking lager right there.
And let's compare mine with yours. Mine is lighter than yours because it's a Pilsner. Right. How do you like that head? How do you like the head on mine?
Oh yeah, nice head. Mine's got a pretty nice head too.
Nice head too. Yours is more like amber color than mine.
Yeah, a little bit more of like a deep golden color. Yours is more like straw yellow, light gold.
This is mine's pretty typical for a Pilsner, though, right? You get this straw yellow look in most Pilsners.
Oh, yeah. And mine is a little bit, it looks a little darker, I think, in here because it's kind of a dark, gloomy room I'm in. But it's still, I think, a little bit darker than yours. More of like a deep gold.
Can you see the carbonation yours shooting up the side?
Yes, it's going to be hard to see on camera here,
Well,
maybe, but
well, it's darker. You with
yeah,
with mine, you
there's
can,
some bubbles going up the glass there. Oh,
because of
there
the
you
straw color, you can see mine a little bit better coming up the side. So there is carbonation coming up from the center. Do you want me to give you the nose on mine?
go ahead. Yep.
The nose is, I don't like, you don't say typical Pilsner because Pilsners probably can smell differently, but I'm getting that grainy kind of look to it, or feel, or nose to it, like cereal grain,
Okay.
a maltiness, like there's let's see, what else am I getting? That's about it. It smells clean. There's like
Get
a
used to
cleanliness to this.
drinking all these stouts and these complex beers. You drink something like this, it's like,
Well,
yeah, it smells good,
super,
but
it's not super complex. It's it's
Right.
giving you what it's giving you, but it's not. You're not getting any prunes or any kind of stuff you get in the stouts. It's pretty,
Right.
like I'm saying, it's straightforward. It's like a cereal grain and malty. I'm writing down a few things, but it's a good, I like the smell of it, and I guess we have to get a taste. So cheers, John.
Yeah, cheers, Michael. Cheers to Josh and Lep.
Very nice. It has a very not it's smooth. It goes down very easily. Well, it's session, so it's not high alcohol, but it's malty at first, but you're getting, I didn't look to see what they use, but I assume they use some kind of Pilsner malt in this. And, they don't say if they're using like German hops or anything, so I'm not sure. They say it's crisp, verdant, which I don't even know what verdant means, and classic.
I think verdant is like grass, like verdant, like grassy.
But I guess the taste is grassy. That's a good comment on this.
I could be completely wrong, but I feel like verdant is referring to the like herbal, grassy.
Or maybe herbal grassiness. Maybe that's what they are talking about. Again, like we're saying, it's what's going on is what goes on probably in most Pilsners. It's and I think this is probably a German style Pilsner, but there is also a Czech style Pilsner.
Josh has had the beer that you're drinking, Michael. He says he's had that one.
I like it. I'm getting that grassiness in it and that herbal kind of vibe in it, and it's easy drinking. The carbonation is medium, and I don't know if you can see on the side, you're getting nice lacing on the side of the glass, and I'm enjoying it.
Very nice.
Like we're saying, it's not a complex beer. It's not something that you're going to sit around and be able to get too. It's not an intense beer. It's a session beer, but it's doing what Pilsners are supposed to do, and I think it's a really good Pilsner.
Nice. So before I go to mine, I just wanted to pull up.
I can tell Frank that I am from the south side of Park Slope.
Okay, there you go, Frank. Do you know where Cobble Hill is in relation to you?
That's where Gail lives. My friend Gail lives in Cobble Hill.
Okay. Well, welcome into the chat, Frank. I don't know if Frank's been on here before or not. He may have been.
I don't know.
If you have been, I apologize, but welcome in, Frank. So I'll go ahead and pull myself up and pull my beer up, which is the Sierra Nevada Oktoberfest Limited Fest Beer, 6% in collaboration with Stortebeker. So we already saw the appearance there. The head is kind of died down, but there is still a little bit of a thin film up top. Really pretty looking beer in the glass. The aroma, the first thing I'm getting is the malt. It's like crackery, kind of sweet, crackery malt aroma. There's definitely that like the German and the European hops. You get that grassy, herbaceous type note. Actually, kind of more along like an earthy hop note with this one, grassy and earthy. Very fragrant with the hops that they're using in this. And there's a little bit of like a sweet, I guess it's just, well, I said malty, but it's like a sweet grain type of aroma. Almost like a slight honey aroma, like a honey sweet aroma. It smells really good. Very typical to the if you've had a lot of the fest beers, or just like German lagers in general, you probably are very familiar with this aroma. A lot of good European lagers, German pilsners, stuff like that. You're gonna get that basic aroma. It smells good, so let's get into it. Cheers.
Cheers, John.
Really nice. Malt forward, crackery, biscuity, bready, malt character. Little bit of like that sweet note. I'm just gonna say it's kind of like a honey, a light honey sweet note. And then immediately, as you swallow it down, it dries out the palate. So it's a dry finish. It's very crisp and it's hoppy. More so even than what I thought, just based on the aroma. It drops off, the hops kick in. It's moderately bitter on the finish, mostly earthy, slightly grassy with the hop character. No alcohol detection at 6%. Really nice. Light bodied. I don't know if I mentioned that. For 6%, I mean, it drinks like a 4%, and it's a 6% beer. I mean, this is a nice sessionable 6% beer. It got up to 87 degrees here today, so this is a really nice beer. I'm glad we're doing these beers instead of porters, stouts, barley wines. Like, it's been really hot. I know it probably has in New York too, but the past 4 or 5 days here have been really hot. So beers like this really hit the sweet spot after a long day.
We've had a lot of thunderstorm activity too. Yesterday, when we came back from the beach club, we got parked on our block, and then all of a sudden you heard the thunder and the lightning. We got out of the car. We didn't get out soon enough, though. Then the rain comes after, and we had to run to the house to get in. Got a little bit wet, but the humidity's been very high too. It's not only the temperature.
Oh, here it's been brutal.
Bad,
it's like a swamp outside. But yeah, I'm really. It sounds like your beer and my beer are similar. But I mean, this style in general, if you have a decent brewery that can make a solid Pilsner lager, that's kind of what you want every now and then. You can't drink stouts and barrel-aged beers all the time. You got to mix it up. This is really enjoyable. And the Fest beer, I mean, like yours is just, it just says lager on it, right? It doesn't break it down any more than that.
No, it says Pilsner on the front, and the description is what I said. Chris Verdant, classic, ride the lager wave. Our interpretation of the I can't pronounce. Not like I'm loaded. Quintessential German Pilsner is crisp, aromatic, and a New York craft icon. So it is a German Pilsner, based on.
So the German Pilsners, the Fest beer, pretty much the Fest beer and the German Pilsners, like they're synonymous as far as, like the terminology may be a little different, but like the beers are pretty much the same. Like the classification or what am I trying to say? The criteria for the Fest beer and for the German Pilsners are pretty much the same thing. The Fest beer designation is just they put out these specialty beers, which are pretty much all German Pilsners, but they're limited to the Oktoberfest time of year. But it's the same style. For anybody out there watching, wondering difference between Fest beer, German Pilsner, it's the same thing. Now, Oktoberfest it encompasses the fest beers, but it also encompasses Märzen. So you can have an Oktoberfest that is a Märzen, which is a richer, more malt forward, kind of caramel, lightly roasted malt type of style. And then you have the Oktoberfest fest beer, which is what I'm drinking.
Right. And the Märzen seems to be more in the category of what we get in the United States, or what we make in the United States. And some of the German ones that we import are also Märzens, even though there are some fest beers that come in as well. It's not like it's
and I do like
Märzen.
both the Oktoberfest styles, the Märzen and the fest beers. I think I prefer the Märzens a little bit more, just because they're a little bit richer, a little bit more malt character, and a little darker. And if people out there that have watched my channel over the years, they know that I like the darker beers and the more rich malt flavors. So it's just a personal preference thing. But if you like light beers, a fest beer, German Pilsner, that's going to be the way to go. If you're used to drinking like your macros, your American adjunct lagers, like this is a good change from those beers. You don't have the adjuncts. You're a little bit more crisp, a little bit more hop character. So, if you like Bud Light, you might want to try something like this. A little bit more money, but a lot more flavor without being offensive or too heavy. It still keeps that light vibrancy, that easy drinking sessionability. Yeah, I'm really liking this. If you see this, Michael, you have to check it out. I'm pretty sure this is the first year they've done the collaboration with Stortebeker. It's the first time I've had it, but it's really good.
I'm somebody who I do like Oktoberfest. I find both the Märzen and the fest beers to be interesting lagers because they're flavorful, and I've enjoyed them over the years too. So I'll always buy some. I'll be on the lookout now. It is August, and that's when the Oktoberfest usually do start showing up, well before the actual holiday celebrated in Germany, which is usually in the fall, sometime in the fall. But I will buy. I'll look for that one in particular. The co-op handles Sierra Nevada, so maybe they'll get some.
Okay.
I will look.
It wasn't too pricey. It was $15 for the 12-pack, but 6% collaboration with a German brewery. That's not a bad deal.
No, it sounds like a fair price. I mean, for sure.
And you could probably get it much cheaper at the co-op too than I can.
We'll have to watch to see if it comes in. But I'm enjoying my Pilsner as well. Threes Brewing is kind of it's been around for a while, but not that long. It's definitely in the 2000s. It's not new, but maybe 15 years. And they have a restaurant too, besides where they started out. But I think they started contract brewing when they started putting stuff in cans, because they probably didn't have a capability with a canning line because they're in limited, space in Brooklyn. So it's easier for them to have the beers contract brewed, I guess, than to try to brew it in Brooklyn. So that's probably the reason. Did you share that name sound? I feel like when I came to visit you that we had a Threes Brewing beer or two, but I can't remember. It is. I could look at it. Let me look in my.
I don't know if we would have actually reviewed it.
Maybe we didn't actually review one. Maybe I showed you one. I'm not sure. But let's see if I can find anything.
Maybe I've had. They may distribute a little bit around here because we do get the other half.
Oh, I gave you one.
Okay.
Remember Mexican Echo of Nothing? It was a Mexican lager. That was from Threes. So so you have had a Threes beer.
Yes.
And I think you gave it a good review too. Because I think I saw your review.
I think that was the Yeah, I think I gave it, like a 93 or something. It was a pretty good beer.
But you gave it an A, and you thought it was.
It sounded, I knew that Threes Brewing. I'm like, God, that sounds really familiar. I feel like I've had a beer from them. So, okay, very nice. And these are, we don't have to sit here for 45 minutes and let the beer develop, because these beers, you want to drink them cold. You don't want to let them warm up.
You can't sit around and let them mellow, because like you say, you do want to drink them when they're relatively cold, for sure. So we did do and I sent you a copy, the picture and whatever on Monday.
Oh yeah.
Another thing, and you didn't respond, but you obviously maybe
I
there was
haven't
nothing.
really had a good. I like to look at it in depth and zoom in on the picture and go through everything. I haven't had a chance to do that yet.
That's okay. But again, Gail brought 2 Imperial Stouts, and they were 1 and 2. So it's like almost if you bring an Imperial Stout to a gunfight, it's got to have a good chance of vanquishing its enemies, if you know what the analogy means. It seems that way anyway, in this group that I'm drinking with, because everybody likes Imperial Stouts in this group. I guess you could get people who don't like stouts, and they would give it lower grades, I guess. You could, get some people.
I would think most of the people that you're hanging around with doing these beer tastings, most of them like stouts. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a stout lose to like a Pilsner in a big tasting. Like if you have a barrel-aged stout and it loses to like a 5% lager Pilsner, then
No, the only way that would happen is if the beer drinkers either were not craft beer drinkers, they were never exposed to the style, or ones who don't like, hard alcohol within the beer, that it's been barrel aged, where you're getting that, spirit combined with the beer. And if you don't like that kind of style, maybe that would make it negative for you.
Right.
Because sometimes at the ones I have here, we get people who are more, macro types, where the main thing, they don't drink macro, but they drink stuff like we're having tonight, that kind of thing, more than they're drinking stouts. So they're kind of surprised by stouts. But again, every time they drink another one, they start getting more of an appreciation for the style. And with a larger crowd, the averages still turn out to be high, because most of the people in my group are into it. So they're giving high grades. And even if you get a couple of lower grades, all it does is bring it down a little. They still win.
And if it's going to be, if you have somebody that absolutely hates the style and they give it a 0 or whatever, you just disregard the score, because it's, which is good, because it keeps the averages where they need to be. Because, if somebody, like, come on, you can't give something a 0. If you don't like the style, fine. But, and there you go, Frank. Frank's right. You got to judge it by style.
No question.
If you don't like it, you have to be fair to it. And Michael's been doing these tastings for a long time. And if somebody gives it a 1 or a 2 out of 5 just because they don't like the style, well, that's fine. But your rating gets disregarded when it comes to averaging out the total for the beer.
Frank, the way we do it is, if we look at all the scores, all the people who've rated it, if your score is 2 points, 2 full points, which is a lot, that means, let's say everybody's giving it an 8, which is above average.
Oh, that's right. You do it out of. I'm sorry. You do it out of. 10,
yes, we do. We do a 1 to 10 scoring system with quarters, halves, and 3/4. And most of the ratings are over 7, because the beers that we do are pretty good. But if let's say the average is 8 and somebody gives it a 5, I choose as the moderator to circle that 5. It still stays there, but it doesn't count in the average. And it's not because I'm trying to punish the person. It's just that we're trying to do it on the basis where we're being fair to the beer. Because that person who gave it a 5 should be more fair. I think they should be more fair to the beer. Like you're saying, some people don't. If it's if it's a 1.5, then it goes in, and they get, and whatever it will go.
Right.
And that's it. Interesting too, when you look at it more closely, the picture, there was a red ale, which is something you don't see very often these days in that group. Do you like red ales? I mean,
I love red ales. It's kind of one of those styles that it's an excellent style, but not a lot of breweries make red ales anymore. Treehouse made a red ale not too long ago. I thought was fantastic. I don't know if Killian's Irish Red is still made. I haven't seen that in years, but that was a really good one. I believe that was
from Ireland. This one's from Ireland, Muldowney Irish Red.
Yeah. I love a good ale. I love the malty ales like that. The Irish Reds are really malt forward.
And it was very good. I thought I liked it. And
what was the ABV on the Irish Red? Do you remember what the
beer says? Make sure it's dead is the name of one of these beers.
Make sure it's dead.
Now again, they have these names, I guess, to get your interest when you're in the beer store looking for something interesting to pick. and that's it. But there was stuff in there that's, stuff you've done. Lagunitas Little Something Something. Somebody
That's
brought
a good
that.
one.
The Three Philosophers from Amagon, the Nitro edition. Somebody brought that. I brought the Boulevard Tank 7, which is their Saison, their double Saison, 8.5%. And Gail brought a bunch of stuff from North Carolina. One of those Imperial Stouts was from North Carolina that she brought. So it's a good, whatever. Have you ever had Fiddlehead IPA from Vermont, from the same place? Okay, that was one of the ones that I brought.
It's okay. It's a pretty standard kind of.
It's a single. It's a single. It's not.
It's not really a juicy. It's kind of more like in between a West Coast and a New England. It's like got a little bit of the piney resinous in there, but it's not like a total palate wrecker like you get with some of these West Coast IPAs. Dio,
Drunken One has made his appearance.
Yuengling is Yuengling a red ale? No, Yuengling's a lager.
The lager.
It's not an ale. It is a red, like a more of like a red lager though.
It's darker in color than a standard.
It's an amber lager. Yuengling Traditional is an amber lager, so not far off, Dio. I haven't had Great Lakes.
That's out of Cleveland.
Is it Cleveland? I thought it was Michigan. Maybe you're right. Yeah, Great Lakes. What's that beer? They're famous for like a beer that I can't think of right now, but it's we don't get it here anyway. That's why it's not on the top of my brain. But they're very popular, more kind of Midwestern states. I can't think of the name of that beer. I'll have to look it up. But yeah, Great Lakes. I've heard really good things about Great Lakes Brewing.
I think it's Cleveland, but I could be wrong.
You might be right.
I'm thinking. Sure.
I could look it up real quick, but are you about set with a rating for your beer there?
Okay, I'm going to write one down. I have written it down. It is a 92, which is my highest A-.
Okay. I was thinking a 93 for mine. And the reason being 93, it just gets out of the A- into the A range. It's not obviously, 95 and up is your really solid A, but it's better than an A-. It's just hard to give it much higher than that because it's a pretty simple beer. These styles are not super complex. They're not, gonna rock your socks off or anything like that. But it's an A beer. It's just, don't expect to be blown away. But on a day like today, where it is very warm, this is the kind of beer that most people are going to gravitate towards. And you are correct, Michael. Cleveland, Ohio, Market Avenue in Cleveland, Ohio.
They have a whole line of beer. It's not the red ale that Frank mentions. They have several really good beers. I think something called Commodore Perry is one of the beers they brew too.
Yep. Dortmunder Gold Lager is their award-winning lager beer. I've heard of that one before, but I've never had it.
I went to a wedding in Cleveland in 2018, and I was able to get Great Lakes beer at the reception of the wedding. Elliot Ness after the Untouchables.
Okay.
Another Great Lakes beer. I don't think they have great distribution outside of Ohio, though. But they may have it in Western Pennsylvania. You might have it in bordering states. But I don't think I've ever seen Great Lakes here. But maybe there are places here you can't get it. The co-op is never.
Frank lives in Brooklyn, so maybe
he has access.
Maybe Frank can let you know where to find Great Lakes stuff. So yeah, 93 for I think for mine. I will say though, as the beer warms, you got to keep it cold. This is one you drink within 5-10 minutes if it's hot outside, but it starts warming up. The glass is sweating. It's warming up. It gets slightly unpleasant, slightly cloying with the sweetness, and it becomes unpleasantly grainy. but it's not supposed to be drank anything else than ice cold.
Right.
So
I think that's basically all lager styles are that way, unless they're imperial lagers where they have those extra higher alcohol content with more malt in it and different kind of
what is it? A Santa Claus malt liquor, 14%. That's technically a lager.
Those are a little bit different, but those are also good. I mean, I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good.
Halftime beverage.
Halftime beverage. I'll have to look. Oh, that's on the internet.
Halftime beverages. Is that a Brooklyn?
I think that's on the internet. You order it. I think that's where that is. I'm pretty sure. John, if you want to wrap things up, although I do have one show. I have one show and tell item.
Okay, go for it.
Are you ready to handle this? This is pretty exciting.
Let's see it.
I have to look up one thing before I do it, just so I remember who the person is. And I saw it before, so I know it's here. Is it here? Or is it in the other side? Okay, I'm going to get it. It's in my other folder, which is not okay. I got it. Okay, I think he's a wrestler or a boxer, Ainsley McGregor. He's an Irish. He's
Conor. It's not Conor McGregor.
Ainsley McGregor, I think is his name. Are you ready for this?
I know a Conor McGregor. He's an Irish. All right. Forged Irish. I've never heard of that.
This is a nitro.
Nice. Now here, let me blow you up.
Okay. So this is an Irish stout. It's 4.4%, but it's a nitro, and they compare it in some advertising that I saw or something I saw on YouTube. It's the poor man's Guinness. Now,
okay,
I have tried it, and it's not as good as the drought version of the Guinness, but it has its little.
Is it
widget, 4.4? So
it's a little higher than Guinness.
It's a similar ABV, but the Guinness is more tasty than this is.
Did it pour with the Cascade? It had the same,
but not as good as the Guinness does. So Guinness probably has that nitro system, down a little bit better than this company.
Okay, I thought so. Conor McGregor is an Irish UFC guy.
Is he a wrestler?
He's a UFC fighter.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he owns the company that makes this. I think it's the only beer they make.
He also has a whiskey as well, Conor McGregor. It's called,
and it's from Dublin, Ireland, like the Guinness is. Obviously, he's trying to get a market where people who like Guinness are willing to try it, because the Guinness market's always been really, people really like Guinness. I like Guinness. I mean, it's something that
I do too. As far as stouts are concerned, you're drinking the barrel-aged stuff, these heavy hitters, 8% plus. The 4.2% Guinness, it doesn't have the body that a lot of stouts have, but that nitrogenization, where you get the widget and just that creaminess and that smoothness. It's hard to beat a good Guinness pour. But I guess Guinness is a stout for people that want to session a stout, because you can't do 4 or 5 bourbon counties, but you can drink 4 or 5 pints of Guinness, and you get the stout, the more robust flavor, but you don't get a ton of alcohol, and the body is much lighter than what you're going to get with most stouts. So, yeah, it's a very enjoyable product, and it's a good stout, to start with. If you're drinking light beers and you want to try a stout for the very first time, you're not going to want to drink a bourbon county. You're going to want to drink something like a Guinness to introduce you to the flavors without blowing your mind.
Otherwise, your mind might be blown and you might not want to drink anymore.
I think you might be turned off to the whole stout thing if the first stout you ever drank was a bourbon county.
the ascent that you make toward the barrel aged stuff has to be a slow ascent.
It's got to be a nice gradual.
If somebody says if you're a macro drinker and somebody says, John, you're a macro drinker, how'd you like to try some Bourbon County? I don't think it's a good idea because you have to work your way up slowly. I mean, you could try it, I guess. I mean, you could get somebody, and I think this is really true, who's a whiskey drinker and also a macro drinker who might be able to get there sooner because they like the taste of whiskey and you're getting that barrel effect. But it's still a different kind of deal because it's in the form of a beer. And, the carbonation is different and whatever. But I love barrel-aged stuff. I think if it's probably my favorite of everything. If I had to, like we've discussed this before, if I had to choose a style, you can't have it every day. You can't drink 2 or 3 of them in the summer because it's just too much to handle. But we split them at the Beach Club where there are 6 people splitting a 16-ounce bottle or a can, and you're getting 2 ounces each, 2.5 ounces each. You can get through that. It's not like it's a lot, or it's still, I guess, after you've had 3 or 4 of them, maybe it starts to hit you a little bit and whatever. Right. I think that when I do these, I end up drinking more than anybody else, only because when the people pour, they seem to give me more. I guess maybe they feel I can handle more alcohol, so I get more of it. And Audrey now has come to the stage where she is just a sipper. She doesn't get her own glass anymore. She drinks a couple of sips from mine, but she is a designated driver too. No. She drives us home, and and again, when you're drinking some of that, it can hit you, and that's it.
Oh yeah,
whatever. If you want to go off live, we can.
Yeah, we will. We're 36 minutes. We'll go ahead and wrap it up. So 92. For Michael's
I'm happy Frank came on because he's new to the chat.
Yeah.
Good.
So Michael's beer 92 for the Threes Brewing, and then the Sierra Nevada 93. Solid beers for this time of year. Go check them out. If you can get either one of these beers, I think Michael and I would recommend either one of these beers. Sure. Thanks to everybody in the chat for joining us tonight. Thanks to Frank. We had Lep. We had Dio, we had Josh. Thank you guys for stopping by. We'll end it there. Thank you for joining, and we'll have to do it again soon. And
it's been fun. I've polished the end of mine.
All right. So we'll see you on the next one. Hope everybody has a great rest of your week and good weekend. And until next time, cheers.
Good drink.